This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're here just to announce a big Road to Undisputed tournament. With me in the tournament, WBA IBO champion Kali Reis. Kali, first and foremost, how are you?
Doing very well. I'm excited this is finally happening. We've been talking about this for a long time, so I'm excited it's finally going to happen.
I was about to ask you about that. You've all been grinding for this kind of opportunity, a Road to Undisputed, for so long. It's all there. What's the emotion like now? It's official and it's all there for you now. If you do win your next two fights, you'll be undisputed champion of the world.
I mean, I've been in this game for 13 years now, so I mean, I've been fighting for this for a long time, and to be, on my road already, being unified champion in a weight class I never even dreamed of being in, with the state that women's boxing is right now, we've never had a tournament like this. We've had Super 6 for men's, but we've never had this, and this is going to bring the best out of all four of us, so I'm ready to get to work.
You mentioned you've been in the game for a long time, and we've seen this growth of women's boxing, particularly over the last few years, both stateside and here as well. This must be a huge moment for women's boxing now to have this tournament live on DAZN with all these belts in it. It can only inspire another generation as well as crown an undisputed champion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Matchroom and Lou DiBella and Eddie Hearn have done such great things for women's boxing. I mean, I didn't see or think I'd see so many women's fights during a pandemic in 2020. So just is this pushing the envelope even further and just to kind of get people talking about women's boxing as just being boxing, because these are great fights. So this is a huge step, huge step.
You said it there, this isn't a weight class you ever thought you'd be world champion, and now you have the chance to be undisputed world champion here. How do you feel at super lightweight? Have you settled quite well there?
I have. I mean, my last fight only 2 weeks ago was my second time making 140, and I'm excited that I'm actually going to be fighting really soon, which is November, so it's get right back to work instead of having that long layoff where I'm already at the weight. Now we're just building from here. So, I mean, I didn't think I'd ever be 140. I've fought most of my fights at 160 or 150, and I had 3 middleweight world titles. So, anything can happen. This is boxing. As being female fighters, our pool isn't as deep as the men, so we have to be flexible. So we saw a chance to make, have an opportunity to be a champion and to fight in a different weight class that was really busy. And this is a bargaining chip, so I'm excited to be here. I'm a little light, but it's okay.
Now, Kali, we can see the tournament tree just behind us here. You're going to be facing Jessica Kamara in that first leg. How much do you know of Jessica, and what do you think she does well of what you've seen of her as well?
Well, she has improved quite a bit, and I was really impressed with her when she first fought Melissa St. Ville, where she had a huge hematoma from the first round, and she did not lose her composure at all. She settled down, and she held her composure and listened to her corner and was successful in, trying to give Melissa St. Ville a really good fight. Her second fight that she really impressed me with, and when I commentated the fight, was against Heather Hardy. Heather Hardy's only other loss was against Amanda Serrano, who is one of the pound-for-pound best women to ever do it, women's boxing. So from the Melissa St. Ville fight to the Heather Hardy fight, she improved really, really well. She made easy work of Heather Hardy. I mean, all respect to Heather Hardy, but she's a veteran, and she made her easy work. And I think she has a great corner and a great coach with Ian. I know she's going to come in. We have 3 belts on the line, 2 of them are my own and 1 vacant belt. And she's in a weight class where I know she's going to feel really strong. So I know I got to be alert every second of every round and just use my experience.
Just to touch on the other half of the tournament, Mary McGee's flown over here this week for this. She's going to be fighting Chantelle Cameron. Chantelle's someone that's well known over here for being a ferocious fighter. She's also, like yourself and everyone else in the tournament, been waiting for something like this for a long time. Can you separate them? Who do you expect to see in that final on that side of things?
I'm just more excited about their fight, I think, than my own. I'm just so excited for their fight. I mean, it's almost like the veteran versus the newbie, because Mary McGee has been in the game, like she said, 20 years, and she's fought and clawed her way up to where she is now. So I think she'd be damned if anybody take her belt, and I think that's her attitude right now. And Chantelle Cameron is a ferocious fighter. She showed she can box backwards, going forward. She can be aggressive. She can be smart. She's just gotten better and better, and she's improving, and she's really hungry. And I respect both of their hunger and their heart. So I think it's going to be one of those fights where at the later rounds, it's going to be who wants it more. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see that fight. I think it's going to be a barn burner.
Kali, well, we've got you here. I just wanted to talk a bit more about yourself and your upbringing and your background as well, because for those that haven't seen it, you did a written interview with Craig Scott on our website, explained a bit more about yourself. It's a fantastic read. So I wanted to dive a bit more into that. Firstly, your involvement with the Murdered and Missing Indigenous women movement. It's something I read a bit about, and your work with that. Can you just tell everybody a bit about that?
So missing and murdered Indigenous women, or hashtag MMIW, it's something that basically has been happening to our women and our people for such a long time. And it's basically, Native American people, Indigenous people, no matter what land you're on or what country you're on, we're the forgotten race. You know what I mean? You don't see Native Americans or Indigenous people being represented in mainstream media, including sports, especially sports. So something like a Native American world champion, a mixed Native American world champion, is just a testament of how strong our line is. And it's really important for me to bring light to that because, every day our people, not just our women, our people get targeted and get taken away from us. And there's no answers. And I just feel as bringing awareness to something like that is the first step to maybe more preventative actions to be taken. And awareness and admitting there is a problem is the first step to healing. So my last fight was only 2 weeks ago. And just recently there's been a lot of unmarked graves of children that were sent to residential schools in the States and Canada being uncovered, probably more than 6,000 at this point. And, I wanted to bring awareness to that as well because that's something really deep in our history as Americans in Canada, but as Native Americans. So whatever I can bring awareness to, whatever Indigenous issues or Native American issues that I can use my platform that I've built, because I fight for so much more bigger than myself. I say fight for all nations, and that's just that. And I fight for belts, it's nice, but when I get those emails from kids or from parents or telling me I saw you fight on HBO and my child is mixed Indigenous as well and she gets bullied, but she has hope now because she saw you fight, you're relatable and you're out here representing people, because people think of Native Americans as like dinosaurs, like we're in the past, and we're here, we're world champions, we're politicians, we can do anything that we want to do, and I'm just here to put us on the map.
How powerful is that for you in training? You mentioned the belts are nice and the glory and everything that comes of all of this, but when you're saying that you're getting messages and emails from people saying you're inspiring them and your work is making a difference, it's got to be quite a powerful tool to keep you motivated to keep on going.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's nice, that's what we fight for, and, I'm an entertainer, I'm a boxer, you know what I mean? But when I found a purpose outside myself, and, I say boxing is my medicine, it's how I pray. No one can tell anybody how you pray. How you feel really, what makes you really feel good. If you're flipping burgers at Burger King and you feel real powerful, energy is real. No matter what language you speak, energy is real. So it's not a burden. People, that's a lot to fight for, but no, it's an honor to be able to use something that I got gifted from the Creator to give back and kind of fight physically for our rights or fight for our people and, just have something to represent us. So between that, what I fight for, and then having my people there at fights to bring me out is amazing. I can't even describe it. It's one of those things that's surreal. I'm like beside myself. It's not me in there. It's KO in there, with my ancestors, with my people. So I thrive off that energy. I always will.
I want to go back and talk about where boxing first came into you, and also growing up with half native heritage and half Cape Verdean as well, I believe it is. What was that like for you growing up? What difficulties did that come with? And where did boxing come into the picture too?
I mean, anytime you're biracial or mixed anything and you're not just one, you're not ever enough. So from birth, I was never enough. I was always fighting for recognition. I was never native enough for the Native Americans. I wasn't, Cape Verdean enough for Cape Verdeans. I wasn't black enough. I wasn't white enough. I wasn't anything enough. I didn't fit in any kind of box. And being the last of 5 kids, also being a two-spirit, I just never fit. I wasted a lot of time trying to figure out how I could fit into other people's box and realizing it's really cool to be my own. You know what I mean? So it wasn't terrible growing up, but it wasn't easy. I went through a bunch of things when I was about 11 and 12 years old and kind of put me over the edge, and I needed something. I played at sports, but team sports just wasn't doing anything for me. The self-accountability that you have to have in boxing and kind of counting on yourself is where I really fell in love with boxing. I didn't really start it to do it where I am now. I just needed somewhere to go where my mind wouldn't be wandering. And the boxing gym was the first time that I could step in the place and only think of what I was doing instead of the tens of million things that was going through my mind. So it kind of started off as an outlet, an angry outlet. I needed something, and it turned into a craft, and it turned into an art. I'm an artist by nature, so I fell in love with it, and I found out I was pretty good too.
Did you remember the point where it kind of went from just an escape and a release for you to there's something here, this could be my career? Do you remember that transition, like how quickly that came about?
I think it was when I was my first fight. I was about 15 years old. first amateur fight. It was one of those smokers in the gym, you know, wasn't sanctioned. And I fought this older woman. She was a kickboxer. 16, you know, 15, 16, I thought I knew everything. And I got my ass kicked. I mean, royally kicked. My nose was bleeding. I think it was broken at some point. But, you know, it was a crossroads. It was either I was going to say, well, you know, forget this, I'm not doing this. Or my thought was, well, how do I make that never happen again? That was the crossroad very early on. I wanted to know how to get the best out of me in this craft. And I'm like that. I'm such a perfectionist Virgo. It's ridiculous. But I noticed from that fight to the next fight, I improved. And then from there, I'm like, I got to do this. I got to do this. And it started off being just, you know, the best fighter, and then it turned into something else.
I read that you spent quite a lot of time at the Big Six Boxing Academy, and one person I read that you'd spent a lot of time around that I wanted to ask you about was Vinny Paz, one of the great characters of boxing.
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit about what that was like, being around him?
I mean, I'm always around him. Yeah, from Rhode Island, we're only 45 minutes long in the state, so, you know, Rhode Island's very small. Vinny Paz is a dude. He's a dope dude. I love him to death. I mean, he has a hell of a story, but he's a good soul. I really like it. And from being really young and to be able to see somebody from Rhode Island do it as big as he did, it was awesome. So, I mean, myself, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, he's a childhood friend and, a stablemate. So it's amazing to be surrounded by so many great people. I mean, I have my cousin Matthew Godfrey in my corner all the time. It was amazing.
Oh, just to come on to something we spoke about just off camera, you've been working with Ebanie Bridges as well. I remember seeing your face around Fight Camp. You hear Ebanie's fighting this weekend too. How long have you known Ebanie, and how long have you sort of been working together as well?
I first met Ebanie when she fought actually on the undercard where Mary fought in February of 2019. Yeah. She had just started working with Brian. He started managing her. And I knew she went to Philadelphia for about 2 weeks to train with my trainer, Danny Davis, and Brian Cohen. And just from the simple little adjustments that he told me that they made and I saw her do, I was like, yo, this girl can fight. Like, she's really talented. She has natural ability, and she improved in 2 weeks to win that fight. And from there, we bonded. She's another Virgo perfectionist, and I've never met anybody that has the same work ethic as I do. She's the first person that has matched it. And, you know, just working off her energy when we train in the gym together. Also, she's such a sponge that she absorbs everything. So when I'm in coach mode, it's great because she listens. And then when I'm in just, you know, we're just training partners and we feed off each other. So I'm blessed to have met her, and she's a marketing genius. So, hey.
Yeah, what was that like for you today? Ebanie's obviously built this affiliation and this love with Leeds, the city over time, even before she came here. But she came out today at the weigh-in. She got this unbelievable reception. There's going to be 20,000 there on Saturday cheering her on. That must be great for you to see as well, the fact that the city's embracing her, and it's her first time here.
I mean, just to follow her and see her feedback from the UK fans before she even stepped foot here on social media is amazing. I love UK fans, just letting you know. I love it here. But she is how can you not like her? How can you not love her? From the Shannon Courtney fight, I was just so happy and so excited for people to see her fighting ability, because they were just misjudging her by how she markets herself. And she's very well at what she does, and she knows what to do and what she wants, and she's unapologetic about it. So I was just, from the opening bell, I'm like, everybody's just going to wait to see this girl fight. So I'm so proud of her as being her friend and being a coach. And just, she's been a Leeds fan for, I don't know, over 2 years now. And I'm not into football like that, but this is, like I said, it was kind of pre-written in your destiny to fight here. This is amazing. And now you're getting to fight in the live Leeds Stadium with live fans. It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane.
A couple more for let you go, Kali. Also on the bill, we've got a modern-day great in Katie Taylor, an Olympic hero in Ireland, also undisputed lightweight champion. I'm sure you've seen Katie's journey for some time now. What do you make of the impact she's had on both amateur and professional boxing? She's really made a mark over here, especially.
She's been able to merge women's boxing and men's boxing. Now we just call it boxing. If it's a good fight, it's a good fight. If there's skill, there's skill. Her work ethic is crazy too, and we actually spar when I'm back in Rhode Island. So I've had the chance to spar her when she first went pro to now, and she's improved as well. You know what I mean? It's fun. I say it's fun getting punched in the face, but it's fun sparring her because she's so passionate. She genuinely loves what she does, and she's really good at it. And she's just another role model for people to look at, and just the fact that people can see skill in her. That people that thought that women's boxing was just a novelty, they're able to, oh, now I want to watch women's fight because they can fight. You know what I mean? So she's done so much for the sport.
Katie told me earlier in the week that the ball is in the court of Amanda Serrano for that mega fight, a huge fight for boxing if it does happen. Could you pick between them? That's a massive fight.
No, No, I don't want to pick between. I just think you're gonna get the best out of both of them. I don't think y'all see nothing yet between Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor because they also have a crazy work ethic. And just like Katie, Amanda loves what she does, and she's all about her work, and so isn't Katie. So I just know when they fight, the best fights the best. You get the best out of both of them. So I can't pick. I don't want to pick. I just want to watch or commentate. I don't know.
Kali, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Hope to see you fight over here in the UK soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.